my channel. I'm in a new filming location today, so I apologize. But it's really late at night here and I don't have those fancy lights, so I have to use my lamps, and this was the only way that I could get decent lighting right now, so that's what I'm doing. So today I'm going to be doing my extremely late at this point June wrap up. So in the month of June I read a total of 6 books, and I have 4 of them here with me. 2 others I already returned to the library, so let's just get into it. The first book that I read was Beautiful Bastard. This is by Christina Lauren. They're a writing duo, and I think I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars. It was originally a 2 out of 5 star book for me, but once I got towards the end it did pick up a little bit, so I did enjoy it a little bit more. But it was just kind of like it's your typical like boss assistant sexy time romance novel. The only one in here is the woman gave it to the man as much as he gave it to her. Like, it wasn't like macho, like it wasn't as 50 Shades of Grey-esque, you know. He's not a misogynist, or I mean, I guess kind of, but she wasn't afraid of him, and so, you know, she gave it right back to him, which I can appreciate. It's not like she was being told what to do. Like, she had control of the situation as well, which is nice to see. It was typical and predictable for the most part, and I just didn't really enjoy it, and I think it just goes to show that, like, I'm totally over the boss assistant romance shit. Like, I just, you know, it took me a really long time to get through it, and it's only like 350 pages. But Christina Lauren is a writing duo, which is kind of cool, and I know there's like a bunch of books in that series. I think there's only one other book that follows these 2 characters from the Beautiful Bastard book, Bennett and I can't remember the female character's name. It's been so long since I've read it. But there's one other book that follows them, and then I think they just go from different characters, but I feel like there's like 9 of them or something. Anyways, I'm not going to continue on. I feel like I got enough. It ended pretty well in the first book, and I just don't think I need to continue, so I probably won't. But, you know, the writing style was fine. I just didn't like the storyline, I suppose. I didn't care about the characters, really. And then after that, I'll put pictures up here so you guys can see. I read The Young Elites, which is book 1 in the Young Elites trilogy. I don't know what it's called, by Maria Lu. And I read the Legend trilogy when it first came out, and I really enjoyed it. So I was excited to see that she came out with this new trilogy, and I think I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. It was quick read. It was something completely different than what I thought it was. So basically, this country was plagued by this disease, and the adults were killed by the disease, but if a child lived, they were marked somehow. They had some kind of deformity or some kind of scar or something, and they're called malfetos. And it was common knowledge that if your child survived and became a malfeto, that no one wanted anything to do with them because they felt like they were like cursed by by demons or something, but also that they had some kind of supernatural power, like some kind of magical power. So basically, our main character gets set up with the group of young elites, who are a group of kids who have lived through this disease, and they have superpowers because of it. And they're trying to save other malfetos because the king and queen think malfetos are horrible beings, and they do everything in their power to kill them. They don't want them around. They think they're cursed. And so yeah, I really liked it a lot, and I can't wait to continue on. And I gave 4 out of 5 stars to that one. After that, I picked up Karela by Ashley Poston. It was cute. It read like a Disney movie. Like, it reminded me very much of A Cinderella Story with Hilary Duff. I love that movie. But basically, it's our main character, Ella. Our main character, Elle, and so it follows two perspectives, Al and Darian. Darian is a movie star, and Al is a book blogger. No, she's like a fan fiction blogger, and she's obsessed with this like TV show that's kind of like Star Wars-esque, I guess is the best way I can describe it. It's actually called Starfield in the novel. She writes a blog. She's been watching it with her dad ever since she was a child. Her parents were obsessed. Just like in Cinderella, like her dad died, so she lives with her evil stepmother and stepsisters, and yeah, I mean, it's all about her life. And then Darian is a movie star who was cast to play the main character of Starfield, and yeah, I mean, it's like a Cinderella story pretty much. I don't want to give too much away because I don't want to spoil it, but if you like a Cinderella story, or you like teen angst, it's kind of angsty a little bit, I would say. I don't know, it's just cute. If you like Cinderella retellings and you like fanfic and, you know, you like any of that, I think you're going to enjoy this. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars, but it took me a really long time to get through it, and honestly, when I was reading like the last 100 pages of it, I felt like, when is this going to end? Because I knew what was going to happen, like it was predictable, and so I mean, it really read like a Cinderella story, and I really liked it, but unfortunately it wasn't my favorite, but I did give it 4 out of 5 stars. I think I need to change that though. I think it's more of a 3 out of 5 stars, and there's nothing wrong with that because, like I said, it was a good book, it was cute, but maybe I just wasn't in the mood for it. Don't hate me for that if you loved it. And then I picked up, I did the Triad chapter tag last month, and the book that I picked from that tag was Sapphire Blue. This is by Kirsten Gier. This is the second book in the Ruby Red trilogy, and I gave this 3 out of 5 stars, but I think I should change that to 2 out of 5. Nothing happened. This is a 300-something page book. 350-page book, and I feel like nothing happened. It follows Gwen and Gideon, who are time travelers, each from different families. Each time traveler from the family represents a different gem. So Gwen is the ruby, and Gideon is the diamond, and they're like sent back in time to try to figure out why 2 other people from their families disappeared with the other like chronograph, which is something that they used to travel back in time with. So they're trying to solve that mystery, and then there's like a romance between some characters in here, and I just, honest to God, I feel like nothing happened whatsoever. Like nothing happened. It was just stupid. I feel like nothing happened, and I feel like it was a waste. And like, I get it, like usually the middle book in a trilogy is kind of a bunch of filler, and like it's the worst book in a trilogy, like that's common knowledge, but like it doesn't make me want to pick up the 3rd book anytime soon. And I know, like in my video when I did this, Nicole from Girly Girl Bookworm had said like the books are beautiful, but I'm so sad that I pushed myself to read it because it was disappointing. And I totally get it, because the first book, like I liked it well enough. It was okay. It wasn't like great. This book is awful, and I feel like, how are they going to wrap everything up in that last book? But I did watch the movie. There's a movie that's dubbed in English, not Sapphire Blue, but, well, there is a Sapphire Blue movie, but there's a Ruby Red movie, and I read that, or watched that before I read this, so I could figure out what was going on, and I enjoyed the movie. So maybe I'll watch the 3rd movie, and I won't read the book, because I don't want to waste my time. Like, I have so many other books that I would like to read, and I just don't know if this is one of them. The next book that I picked up was Onyx by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is book 2 in the Lux series, and it's been a few years since I read Obsidian, so I didn't even know if I was going to be able to pick right back up where I left off, because I didn't remember too much. I mean, I know it's about aliens called Luxon, and this alien named Damon who falls for a human, and like these things happen. Like that's what happens in the first book. Spoiler alert, sorry. and then it just goes on from there. And I didn't really remember what happened at the end, but it kind of tells you in the second book. So, you know, I really liked it. I thought it was cute. It was quick. I'm going to continue on with the series because I own all of them, so I do want to find out what happens. I give this 4 out of 5 stars, I believe. What I will tell you, though, is it is very, very, very Twilight-esque. Like, the similarities are endless. And I didn't realize that in the first book, but like going through this one, like, I definitely noticed. I almost wonder, like, did this series start as a Twilight fanfic? Because that's how it reads. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's just funny to see the correlation. So yeah, I did give this 4 out of 5 stars, and, you know, I really liked it. And I'll continue on. Maybe next month, I'm not sure yet. I'm so bad at finishing series, guys. Like, I start series, and I might get halfway through, but I never finish them. I don't know why. I think it's because if I, like, binge, I can't binge books, and if I try, then I get burnt out, and then I don't want to read them anymore. So that's usually what happens, but, you know, what can you do? And then the last book of the month that I read was The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. This is a collection of novellas about Selena Sardothian, who is the main character in the Throne of Glass series. Ow, sorry, my dog. Hi. This is my dog, Gracie. She wants to know what I'm doing, like always. Anyways, I give this, I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And normally I would give it 3 out of 5 stars because I feel like novellas aren't really a full story. But this contains 5 novellas, and they piggyback off one another. So if you read the one before it, then it's like a continuation. So yes, they're novellas, but bound up like this, it's like you're reading one long story about her. And, like, it's cool because you get to see, like, her backstory. Plus, it's, like, over 400 pages. So, you know, I really liked it. It did pique my interest to pick up Air of Fire finally, because I've only been telling you guys for, like, the past 6 months that I was going to read that novel, and I still have not done that. So, maybe now I'll do it, because I really did like this a lot. And it was just nice to see a different side of Selena and see kind of where she came from and, like, the things that she did before she became the King's assassin. So yeah, really liked it. Okay guys, so these are the books that I read in the month of June. Let me know what you guys read, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I'll have all of that linked down below. I also put my Goodreads link down there if you guys want to add me on there. You can do that as well. And yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.